we make are based on the circumstances we're currently in too also. We have choices made because of family, because of jobs, because of the commitments we made to one another. We also choose whether we're going to be joyful or miserable. You might not think of it like that, but that is something that we can actually do. You can you can make a choice to be a joyful person, or you can make a choice to be miserable. Just to be miserable. It's your choice. Regardless of the difficulties we face in our lives, we can make the choice to live with joy and face each new opportunity and challenge with a positive attitude, or wallow in misery and with the woe is me attitude that is so pervasive in our society today. You watch people as you journey around, you just kind of look, pay attention, and listen. The world is miserable. I mean, they are miserable. They don't have no joy about anything, and they worry about everything, and they nothing's never satisfies them. I don't care what. It's never nothing ever satisfies. They're in that woe is me attitude. I've seen Christians like that. I've seen Christians that just in the worst shape of all. Everything's wrong, nothing is right, and everybody wants to be on the bandwagon. This is terrible. We often let our circumstances dictate how we feel too. That's, you find yourself in a bad situation, you want to become miserable. Well, you can choose not to do that. You can choose to be joyful or miserable. Remember the good old days? we we all talk about the good old days when life was real simple, and there was nothing to do. And you didn't have a telephone ringing every minute, and you didn't have the kids running around with things that flipping on them all the time. It was different. And then you wonder, why are those kids so carefree and happy all the time? You know, you look at the kids that even today, they run around, they got a thing on their mind. They're just, today we're going to have a ball. I'm happy to be here. Why are they that way? They don't worry about their next meal, or staying warm, or having enough money to pay for things. They don't think about those things. The parent takes care of all that, and they don't have to think about that. But when we are anxious and worry about things that we cannot control, which is most everything, we worry about things that we can't control. Things that we can control, we still worry about them. But the things that we can't control, we worry about them a lot. We don't make the proper choices. And you know what that does? That says, you know what that says about our trust in our Heavenly Father? You take something that we cannot control. I make a choice. I can't control it. Well, I get all frustrated about it, and I'm distressed. I'm distraught because of it, and I worry. I'm not very joyful. I'm just tore all to pieces. It's something that I can't control. You know what that says about our Heavenly Father? But seek ye first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Now, he was referring to the things necessary for life, and that's what we're interested in. That's the only thing in this world that's important to us is the things that are necessary for life. Our food, clothing, shelter, friends, neighbors, family. That's the things that are important to us. And these are the things that he said that be taken care of if we obey first his righteousness. But here's the kicker. It ain't going to fall out of the sky like the manna did when they was in the wilderness. It ain't going to do that. If we do his will, he tells us, for even when we were with you, Paul's talking to the Thessalonians, he said, we used to give you this order or commandment. You put it the way you want it, an order or a commandment. Now, you know what a commandment is. Something we need to be doing. We better be doing. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. Now, that takes care of a lot of things that are not very joyful, and things that are joyful. If we do what the Lord has commanded, we'll work with our hands. in order to sustain ourselves. And all these things that he's referred to in Matthew 6 and 33, we'll get them because we're working for them. They didn't fall out of the sky, but the idea did. The idea did. Consider Paul as he's writing a letter to the Philippians. What was his circumstances as he wrote the letter? And, and did he let that condition dictate how he felt? He could have, he was in prison and he was in Rome.